What's up, girls? Welcome to Touchdowns and Takedowns with Shay, where we're talking UFC, we're talking football, definitely gonna do some hot takes, and everything in between. Okay, so this is officially episode 1, and honestly, I'm a little nervous because I've been talking about doing a podcast for a while, and now I'm actually sitting here doing it. So hey, if you're listening to this right now, thank you. Whether you found me on TikTok, Instagram, YouTube, a friend might have sent this to you, or you just randomly stumbled across. I appreciate you being here, really. And I want this podcast to feel less like you're listening to some super serious sports analyst, and more like you're sitting in the room with your girls talking sports. Except our group chat has microphones. Anyways. So why did I start this? Obviously because I love sports. I love football, but I am obsessed with UFC. And I also love arguing about sports. And I love that sports are something that you can be completely passionate about. But I also feel like sometimes sports spaces can feel very male dominated. And I want this to be a place where us girls can come in, have opinions, disagree with each other, make predictions, talk a little bit of trash, and just have fun. You don't have to be like an encyclopedia of statistics to be a sports fan. You can love the game, you can have a favorite player, you can definitely make a terrible prediction, you can change your mind, and you can still know ball. So, I want to start off with football. I want to tell y'all how I got into football because I feel like everybody has that one thing that really pulled them into sports. For me, football is just like a little different. There's something about game day, like the energy, the trash talking, the rivalries between players and fans, and the last minute touchdown that has everybody literally screaming at the TV. I used to not understand that. But let me tell you how I got into football. So, my husband, he played football in high school, and I was on the dance team. So, we both kind of experienced it a little bit, but our takes on it was a little different. Obviously, he was in the game. I was just spectating. But he has obviously more knowledge than me. So he was more into it whenever we graduated and, was spending more time together and all that. Me, I just still didn't understand it. I could not tell you how many points a touchdown was. I couldn't tell you anything. Literally no rules, nothing. I did not know what was going on. So, we're sitting there one night. We decided to watch a football game. And I was like, I'm just going to go for a random team because I like their colors better, right? I mean, that's how we girls pick when we're first starting out. The color, which one's cuter? So I picked the Ravens. Okay, I love that deep purple. Anyways, so guess who won that game? Obviously the Ravens. Come on now, the Ravens. Ever since then, I realized I wasn't just casually watching anymore. Every time the Ravens had a game, I was watching it. It eventually led up to me watching every single football game that was on, okay? I was invested. Like, honestly, don't talk to me during the game. Don't ask me to do anything during the game. And don't tell me that it's just a game. Because no, it's not just a game. Football is, I don't know, it's exciting to me. I do get upset, but I also get super, super ecstatic during the games, especially when it's a close game. You'll have to watch one with me one day and tell me what you think. I bet you'll get into it. Okay. Now, how we got into UFC. This is a completely different kind of sports obsession for me. Because football can have you screaming at the television, obviously, but UFC can have you sitting there like, oh my god, what just happened? I love the strategy behind fighting as well. It's not just two people getting in there and punching each other in the face. You've got striking, wrestling, grappling, cardio, timing, technique, and fight IQ. And then sometimes you get into a fight where somebody gets hit one time and like the entire night is just completely over. And I'm sitting there thinking, well, that escalated quickly. There's been quite a bit of fights like that I have seen. But you know, a fight's a fight. So I got into UFC also through my husband. He used to watch videos on his phone all the time, whether it be on Facebook or TikTok. And I would just kind of peep over and be like, that seems kind of interesting. So anyways, one night we decided to watch it on the TV. And when I tell you every Saturday night, I am ready, okay? I have watched fights at 4 a.m. I have watched fights at 4 p.m. I have stayed up until 12 o'clock at night watching fights when I had to be at work at 4 o'clock the next day. Yes, I'm very serious about it. I can tell you anything about any fighter. I can tell you stats, weight classes, certain submission moves, all the refs. Look, I've got you covered, girl, when it comes into UFC. So I'm not going to do a Who You Got segment today, but look forward to that. Because the fights are tomorrow. So we're going to wait until Sunday. Sunday, we're going to go over the fights. Okay? I'm going to talk to you about who won, how they won, why they won, stuff like that. And then also when it comes to football, that doesn't start yet. Preseason is now, which we don't really want to talk about preseason just because it's not the main players that you see on TV all the time. It's their second and third string, which is pretty much their backup players. Another thing that I want you to look forward to whenever we are doing these podcasts is something that I like to call the Sports Girl group chat. These are questions that I want you answering. And I want to see what everybody thinks. So, I'm going to be asking you UFC questions, NFL questions. I'm going to ask you about your opinions. And then we're going to have a little chat about it. The next segment that I want you guys to be very excited about is Shay's hot takes. Oh my gosh. This is where it gets spicy, okay? This is where we are going to be pretty much making everybody angry. This is going to be my hot takes of football and UFC. Not everybody's going to agree, and that's fine, because part of this podcast is having a good argument, okay? So going forward, I want this podcast to be a place where we can talk about everything. UFC, football, fight predictions, game predictions, players, teams, obviously hot takes, sports drama, because there's a lot of that, and funny moments that happens. And honestly, whatever we're talking about that week, and eventually I want to bring other girls in here too. I want different opinions. I want debates. I honestly want people who completely disagree with me, because that's what makes the sports fun. You don't have to agree with me. Actually, please don't agree with me. Give me something to argue about. And just like that, we made it through episode 1. Honestly, thank you for hanging out with me. Starting something new can be so scary, especially when you don't know who's going to listen or even where it's going to go. But I'm really excited to see where this takes us. So if you enjoyed this episode, make sure to follow me on the podcast, follow me on social media, and if you have a sports opinion you want me to talk about, send it to me. I want to hear it. Tell me your hottest UFC take. Tell me which NFL team you think is overrated. Tell me the fighter you're picking, even if you're just guessing. And then tell me why I'm completely wrong on my opinions. Because this isn't just my sports podcast, I want this to become our sports group chat. So until next time, I'm Shay, and this is Touchdowns and Takedowns. Pretty opinions, serious sports, zero chill, and remember, you don't have to be a guy to know ball. Bye, girls.